I bought my dream house and set up a housewarming, empty chairs. My family cheered my sister's new car instead. Then Dad called, "We need to talk." Next day, they arrived with papers for my house. I bought streamers. That's what I remember most, standing in the party aisle at Target, crying over streamers. Purple or teal, did it matter? Would anyone even notice? I bought both, spent an hour taping them to my new kitchen ceiling in loops that kept falling down because I'm terrible at crafts and everything I do looks like a kindergarten project gone wrong. But it was my kitchen, my house, the first place I'd ever owned that didn't have landlord rules or upstairs neighbors who stomped around at 2 a.m. I'm not organized. I'm not one of those people who plans things months in advance with color-coded spreadsheets. I bought the house because my realtor called and said, "There's one in your range, we need to move now." And I said yes before I even saw pictures. Signed papers I barely read. My best friend Jenna said I was insane. She was probably right. But I got it. 3 bedrooms, weird layout, kitchen appliances from the 90s, carpet that smelled like someone's grandma. I didn't care. It was mine. So I threw a party, texted my family group chat. "Housewarming Saturday 3 p.m. Please come, I have a house." Mom replied with heart emojis. Dad sent a thumbs up. My sister Becca wrote, "OMW with wine girl." I made 7 trips to the grocery store because I kept forgetting things. Bought chips, forgot dip, bought dip, forgot cups, bought cups, forgot ice. By the 4th trip, the cashier knew my name. Made a playlist that was all over the place, Taylor Swift, then death metal, then smooth jazz because I couldn't decide on a vibe. Hung up the streamers that kept falling, put out folding chairs I'd borrowed from Jenna, set up a card table in the backyard with a tablecloth that had stains I didn't notice until too late. Saturday, 3 p.m., I was ready. Hair done, well, attempted. Wearing a dress that was maybe too fancy for a backyard party, but whatever, it's my house. Stood by the window watching for cars. 3:30, nobody. 4 p.m., still nobody. I texted the group chat, "Everyone okay?" 4:15, Becca finally replied, "At the dealership. Just got my car." So excited. Attached was a photo. Her, Mom, Dad, Uncle Rick, Aunt Sharon, my cousins Devin and Aaliyah, all of them, crowded around a shiny blue sedan with a massive bow on it. Everyone who was supposed to be at my house was at the car dealership celebrating my sister's new car. I sat on my stained tablecloth and ate an entire bag of Cool Ranch Doritos. My phone rang at 5:30. Dad. "Hey, sweetie, how was your party?" I couldn't speak, literally couldn't form words. "Hello? You there?" "Nobody came," I finally said. "Oh, well, Becca got a car today. We're all at the dealership. You should come down. We're going to dinner after to celebrate." "I had a housewarming party." Right. We'll swing by tomorrow to see the place. Sound good?" He hung up before I could respond. I went inside, sat on my ugly carpet, cried for 2 hours. The next morning Dad called again. "We're coming over. Be there in 20. "Why?" "We need to talk. Family stuff." They showed up in 3 cars, Mom, Dad, Becca, Uncle Rick, Aunt Sharon, like a convoy. They walked into my house, and Mom immediately started criticizing the paint color. "Oh, honey, this beige is so depressing. You should go with something brighter." Dad gathered everyone in my living room, pulled out a folder, actual legal-looking papers. "Okay, so we've been talking," he started, "about fairness, equity." I was still in my pajamas, hadn't brushed my teeth, felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. We helped Becca get her car, co-signed the loan, paid for the down payment, all that. Now you have a house, but Becca doesn't have a house. That's not fair. Becca was examining her nails, didn't even look up. "So we came up with a solution," Mom added, smiling like she was announcing good news. "We want to put Becca's name on your deed. That way you both have property. It's equal." I stared at them. "Equal," I repeated. "Exactly. See, you get it." Dad pushed the papers toward me. This is just a quitclaim deed. You sign here, Becca signs here, and boom, problem solved. Problem, I said. The fairness problem. You have a house, Becca doesn't. Now you'll both have a house. But I bought this house. Right, but we're a family, we share things. Becca finally looked up. It's not like I'm moving in or whatever, it's just paperwork. Don't be weird about it. My brain was short-circuiting. Get out. Honey, get out, all of you. Get out of my house. You're overreacting. Out! I screamed it, loud. My voice cracked. Uncle Rick looked uncomfortable. Aunt Sharon whispered something to Mom. They left, slowly. Dad tried to hand me the papers on his way out. Think about it. We'll talk later. I slammed the door so hard the streamers fell down. Update 1. The next week was a nightmare. Mom called every day, sometimes twice a day. Left voicemails that started sweet and got progressively more annoyed. Sweetie, let's talk about this like adults. You're being very stubborn. Do you realize how much we've sacrificed for this family? Dad showed up at my house unannounced. Twice. Both times I didn't answer the door. Watched him through the window, knocking, waiting, finally leaving. Becca sent texts that made me want to throw my phone. Seriously choosing a house over family? This is so dramatic. Everyone thinks being selfish. I blocked her number. Jenna came over with wine. We sat on my ugly carpet and I ugly cried for the second time that week. They want me to give her my house, I sobbed. How is that fair? How is any of this fair? It's not, Jenna said. Your family is messed up. They all came, for her car. Nobody came for my house. I know. I bought streamers, Jenna, purple and teal. She hugged me while I cried into her shoulder. 2 weeks after the housewarming that wasn't, I got a letter. Actual mail. Thick envelope with a law firm's return address. My hand shook opening it. It was from a lawyer named Patricia Huang. The letter said my great-aunt Dorothy had passed away. I barely remembered her. Dad's aunt, the one who lived in Arizona and sent birthday cards with $5 bills every year. The letter said she'd left me something in her will, a trust fund. I had to read it 3 times to understand. Great-aunt Dorothy had set up a trust that would pay me a monthly amount. The letter didn't say how much, just that I needed to call Patricia to discuss the details and sign paperwork. There was also a sealed envelope inside, a letter from Aunt Dorothy herself. Patricia's note said I should read it before calling. I opened it with shaking hands. To my great niece, it read, I watched your family for a long time. I saw how they treated you, how they expected you to always be fine on your own while they coddled others. I saved my money and lived simply in a tiny apartment so that you could have what you deserve, security that nobody can take from you. This is yours. Don't let them convince you otherwise. You reminded me of myself at your age, working hard, not asking for help, being overlooked. I wanted you to know that someone saw you. Someone understood. Love, Aunt Dorothy. I called Patricia immediately. Ms. Huang, I got a letter about my great-aunt. Yes, I'm so glad you called. Your great-aunt Dorothy was very specific about her wishes. She wanted to make sure you were taken care of. I don't understand. I barely knew her. She knew you, apparently. She updated her will last year, left instructions that her estate would provide for you specifically. The trust will pay you monthly. It's substantial. How substantial? She told me the amount. I sat down on my ugly carpet and cried for the 3rd time in 2 weeks. It was more than my mortgage, more than my car payment, more than I made in a month at my job. It was enough that I wouldn't have to worry about money for a very, very long time. There's one condition, Patricia added. The trust is specifically designated for you and you alone. It cannot be shared, divided, or claimed by family members. Your great-aunt was very clear about that in her instructions to me. Ms. Huang, can they contest this? They can try, but your great-aunt anticipated that. The trust is ironclad. I wrote it myself. Nobody can touch this money except you. I thanked her, hung up, stared at the wall for an hour. Then I called my family. Final update. Sunday dinner at my parents' house. They'd been asking me to come for weeks. I'd been avoiding them, but now I had something to say. Everyone was there. Mom, Dad, Becca, Uncle Rick, Aunt Sharon, Maya, the whole crew. Mom hugged me at the door. "I'm so glad you came. We've missed you." I sat down at the dining room table. They passed around meatloaf and mashed potatoes, made small talk about weather and Becca's new job opportunity and Uncle Rick's back pain. Finally, Dad cleared his throat. "So, have you thought about what we discussed? About the house?" Everyone got quiet. "Actually, yes," I said. "I've thought about it a lot." Mom smiled. "That's wonderful. We can help you with the paperwork. I'm not signing anything." The smile froze. "But we talked about this," Dad said. "About being fair, about family." "Right, family." I pulled out my own folder. Patricia had printed everything for me. Trust documents, Dorothy's letter, the whole thing. I put it on the table. "What's this?" Becca asked. "Great Aunt Dorothy left me money, a lot of money, in a trust that pays me every month." Silence. "How much?" Dad asked. "Enough that I don't have to worry anymore. Enough that I can pay my mortgage, my bills, everything. Comfortably." More silence. Uncle Rick shifted in his seat. Aunt Sharon's eyes went wide. Maya looked confused. That's wonderful, honey," Mom said carefully. "And of course you'll want to help the family." "No. Excuse me? The trust is specifically for me, nobody else. Aunt Dorothy made sure of that. She had her lawyer write it so nobody could contest it or claim any of it." I slid Dorothy's letter across the table. Dad picked it up, read it. His face went red. "This is ridiculous. She was a bitter old woman." "She was right, though," I said. "About everything. About how you treat me. About how you expect me to always be fine while you help everyone else." Becca stood up. "This is such bullshit. You get a house and money, and you won't share? You got a car. Did you offer to share that? That's different." "How?" "Because I needed help. You've always been fine." "I'm not fine," I shouted it. The whole table jumped. "I'm not fine. I sat alone at my housewarming party eating Doritos on a stained tablecloth while all of you celebrated Becca's car. You didn't even text. You showed up the next day demanding I give her my house, and now you want my inheritance too?" Mom's eyes filled with tears. "We're your family. We're supposed to help each other." "Then where were you when I needed help?" Nobody answered. I stood up, grabbed my folder. "The trust is mine, the house is mine, and none of you are getting either one." Dad stood too. "If you walk out that door, you're choosing money over family." I laughed. Couldn't help it. It came out bitter and sharp. "I'm choosing myself. For the first time in my life, I'm choosing myself, and you can't stand it." I walked to the door, hand on the knob, turned back one last time. "Oh, and Becca, I'm having another housewarming party next month. You're not invited." I walked out, got in my car, drove home to my house with the ugly carpet and the falling streamers and the quiet rooms that were all mine. My phone started buzzing immediately. Texts, calls, voicemails. I turned it off, sat on my back porch, the one I'd set up for a party nobody came to. Jenna texted an hour later. "Heard what happened. Coming over with wine and pizza. Be there in 20. She showed up with 3 other friends. We ate pizza on my ugly carpet, hung up new streamers, purple and teal, made plans for the actual housewarming party next month." "Who are you inviting?" Jenna asked. "People who actually show up." Amen to that. We stayed up until 2 a.m. laughing, making plans, talking about everything except my family. At the end of the night, sitting alone in my quiet house, I pulled out Aunt Dorothy's letter one more time. "This is yours. Don't let them convince you otherwise." I folded it carefully, put it in a drawer, and for the first time since I bought this house, I felt like I was actually home. The housewarming party, the real one, happened on a Saturday in November. I sent no family invitations, didn't even tell them about it, just invited friends, co-workers, neighbors I'd met while walking around the block trying to figure out how to use my new lawnmower. Jenna helped me decorate. We went to 3 different stores because I kept changing my mind about themes. First it was autumn harvest, then it was cozy hygge. Then Jenna said, "How about we just make it look nice and stop overthinking?" So we did that. 15 people showed up. I stood in my living room watching people laugh and eat and compliment my paint choices, which Jenna had helped me pick. Turns out that depressing beige actually looked pretty good with the right lighting, and I started crying. Again, happy crying this time. "You okay?" Jenna asked. "There are people in my house." That's generally what happens at parties. "No, I mean, people actually came. They're here." She hugged me. "Of course we're here. We love you, you disaster." My co-worker Marcus brought his famous 7-layer dip. My neighbor Kayla brought homemade cookies. Beth brought a plant and said, "For your new place," like it was the most natural thing in the world. 3 people from my book club showed up. 2 former co-workers I hadn't seen in a year. Even Maya, my cousin, came and apologized for missing the first party. "Mom told us last minute that you'd canceled because you were sick," Maya explained. "I should have texted you to check. I'm sorry." Nobody asked to be put on my deed. Nobody suggested I owed them anything. They just showed up. Around 8 p.m. my phone buzzed. "Mom." I ignored it. It buzzed again and again. Jenna noticed. "Your mom?" "Yeah." "You gonna answer?" "Not tonight." The phone kept buzzing throughout the night. By the time the party ended around 11, I had 14 missed calls and a string of texts. "Mom, Maya told us you had a party." "Mom, why weren't we invited?" "Mom, this is very hurtful." Becca, "Wow, okay, so we're just not family anymore." Becca, "Hope or happy." Dad, "We need to talk about this. Call me." I turned my phone off, helped Jenna clean up. We packed leftover food into my fridge that actually had food in it now, and she said, "You know they're not going to let this go, right?" "I know." "What are you going to do?" "I have no idea." She left around midnight. I sat in my quiet house, my clean, full, happy house, and felt the dread creeping back in. They showed up the next morning, all of them. I was still in pajamas, eating cereal from the box because I hadn't done dishes yet, when the doorbell rang, then knocked, then rang again. I looked through the peephole. Mom, Dad, Becca, Uncle Rick, Aunt Sharon. I opened the door but didn't move aside. "What?" "We need to talk," Dad said. His voice was tight, controlled, the voice he used when he was really angry but trying not to show it. "I'm busy." "We saw photos from your party." Mom held up her phone. Maya had posted pictures on Instagram, me and Jenna laughing, the decorations, people crowded into my living room. She'd tagged me. "You had a party and didn't invite us?" "That's correct." Becca pushed forward. "What is wrong with you? We're your family." "And yet somehow 15 other people managed to show up when you couldn't." "That was different." "How?" I was getting loud again. Couldn't help it. "How was it different? You all chose Becca's car over my house. You showed up the next day trying to take my house, and now you're mad I had a party without you?" Uncle Rick cleared his throat. "Listen, sweetie, I think there's been some miscommunication." "No, there hasn't. It's been very clear. You want my money. You want my house. You want me to share everything I have while nobody shares anything with me. That trust fund has made you very selfish," Mom said quietly, tears in her eyes, real ones probably. Mom was good at crying when she wanted something. The trust fund didn't make me anything. It just gave me the option to say no. Dad stepped closer. "We're family. Family helps each other. Your great aunt didn't understand that. She lived alone in that tiny apartment for decades, bitter and alone her whole life. Is that what you want, to end up like her? Aunt Dorothy wasn't bitter. She was smart. She saw exactly what you all are. She turned you against us. No, you did that yourselves, when you didn't show up, when you brought legal papers to take my house, when you expected me to hand over everything because that's what you're used to, me just giving and never asking for anything back. Aunt Sharon spoke up for the first time. We just think it would be nice if you shared the trust money. Help Becca with her car payments. Help your parents with their mortgage. You want me to pay your mortgage? We're struggling. Then maybe don't co-sign for expensive cars you can't afford. I was screaming now. My neighbor across the street came out on her porch to watch. I didn't care. Get off my property, all of you. Honey. Mom reached for me. I stepped back. I mean it. Leave, or I'm calling the police. Dad laughed, bitter and sharp. You'd call the police on your own family? Try me. We stood there, staring at each other. The whole family on my front porch, me in my doorway in pajamas with cereal crumbs on my shirt. Finally, Dad turned and walked to his car. You've made your choice. Don't come crying to us when you need something. They left, all of them, cars pulling away one by one until my street was quiet again. I went inside, locked the door, sat on my ugly carpet and shook for 20 minutes. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello? Hi, is this... I'm looking for Dorothy's great niece, the one who inherited the trust? Yes, that's me. Oh, wonderful. My name is Susan. I was your great-aunt's neighbor in Arizona. I just heard she passed and I wanted to reach out. Oh, thank you. I know this is random, but I thought you should know. Dorothy talked about you a lot, especially the last few years. She did? Oh, yes. She kept newspaper clippings about you. Anytime your name appeared in anything, local business features, charity events, anything. She had a whole scrapbook. I couldn't speak. She was so proud of you, said you reminded her of herself when she was younger, working hard, not asking for help. She wanted to make sure you had what she never did, security, independence. I barely knew her. She knew you. She paid attention, and she wanted you to know that someone saw you, someone understood. After we hung up, I cried for the 4th time that week, but different this time, not sad crying, not angry crying, something else, something that felt like being seen. 2 months later, just after New Year's, Dad showed up at my door unannounced. This time I answered. He looked older, tired, smaller somehow. Can we talk? About what? I want to apologize. I crossed my arms, waited. I didn't realize how it looked. The car thing, the house thing. Your mother and I talked and we're sorry. Are you sorry, or are you sorry I have money now? His face flushed. That's not fair. Neither was asking me to give Becca my house. Long silence. He shifted his weight, looked at his shoes, the same way he used to look when I was little and asked why he missed my school play. Always had a reason, always had an excuse. Becca's struggling, he said finally. She's 3 months behind on her car payments. The bank's threatening to repossess. She's behind on rent too. Your mother and I can't keep helping her. We thought maybe you... No. You didn't even let me finish. No, I'm not giving Becca money. I'm not paying her bills. I'm not co-signing loans. I'm not doing any of it. She's your sister. She's an adult who needs to figure things out, like I did. Dad's jaw tightened. So that's it? You get lucky with an inheritance and suddenly you're too good for your family? I didn't get lucky. Aunt Dorothy lived in a tiny studio apartment for decades, saving every penny so someone in this family could have security. She chose me because she knew what you all would do. That's ridiculous, is it? You're here right now asking for money, proving her right. He stared at me. I stared back. Can I come in? He asked finally, voice softer, almost pleading. I thought about Aunt Dorothy's letter, about sitting alone eating Doritos while streamers fell from the ceiling, about Susan calling to tell me someone had kept a scrapbook because they were proud of me, about 15 people showing up to celebrate my house. No, I said, and I closed the door.